guys, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for the second of our Patreon one-shots this month. We are playing Vaesen by request in this game. But of course, we are playing in the mythic New England. At least twice as good as the old England. That being said, if you like what we do here on this channel and you want to support us, the best way to do it is just like these fine folks you see here before you, by joining us over on our Patreon in the link down below. While you're down there, click on the Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I probably unleash a ghost or a monster of some kind and try to eat somebody. And two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to this channel for the new computer fund, because mine is slowly bricking. And because it is September over on Twitch, I will remind you that from now until the end of the month, beginning of October, for every 5 subs donated, Valorant donates a 6th one. So if that's your jam, jam on. And without further ado, the wind carries the scent of pine sap and wet soil as your wagon rattles along a half-formed road, barely more than a rut through the forest. The trees grow tall and close here. White pines, black spruce, and ancient oaks. Their trunks like pillars hold up the overcast sky. Somewhere behind you, the stone walls and salt air of Providence fall away. Ahead, the woods grow colder, quieter. Even the birds have gone silent. You've come at the request of a man named Nathan Bell, the foreman of a logging operation run by the Stoddard Timber Company. His letter was desperate. A child gone missing, a worker vanished, and talk among the men of trees that bleed red, and something crying in the dark. He begged for discretion and for protection. As the camp comes into view, a clutch of tents and timber-framed sheds huddled in a muddy clearing. You feel it. Not fear exactly, but pressure, like a gaze from behind the trees, watching, waiting. One of the loggers stands near a fire, sharpening an axe that looks too clean. The others stare at you with hollow eyes. A woman, perhaps a cook, crosses herself as you pass. Somewhere, deep in the trees, a crow caws once, then nothing. The forest exhales, and somewhere, the pines begin to weep. As you enter the logging camp, your carriage comes to a halt. You find yourselves still in Rhode Island, but in a town called Coventry. As was said, you are here at the request of Nathan Bell, because there is some strange goings-on within this forest. Most importantly, a child is missing. Slightly less importantly, but still quite important, a worker is also missing. And quite curiously, the trees are bleeding. And that stands out as something it shouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
The carriage wheels to a stop. You're all able to get out. You see a very uncomfortable logging camp set before you. Murmurs begin to flow around the men stationed here, as everyone sort of glances nervously between each other and you. You see a man approaching you and sort of flagging you down. Haggard, probably in his early to mid 40s. He's very barrel-chested, very broad-shouldered. Looks less a man to keep books and more a man to have swung the first axe in this company. And he walks out towards you, waving you down. This is not a jovial wave. There's no call to you. You can see as he approaches that his eyes are sunken, and it looks like he has barely slept in what you presume to be days. And he sort of walks over to you, and whoever the first person he sees, he grabs you by the hand and begins to, like, shake it quite vigorously. Being like, thank you so much for coming. I don't know what we would have done if you hadn't taken our request. Who is on the receiving end of this handshake What is your name and what do you look like?
I think my character is the first one off the carriage. Selma Blackwood was driving the carriage. She when they roll up to a stop, and as she sees this man approaching, she slides off the wooden bench. She wears a long, heavy leather duster, a rifle slung over her shoulder in a holster, and the leather of her outfit creaks, and she's got a wide brim leather hat, and she looks up, and she's like chewing on a very, very hastily and crudely rolled cigarette, and the light it's not even burning anymore. She's just kind of gnawing on the end, and she looks up and as like, what did you say? It was raining? Can it be raining?
Sure. It's overcast, so I imagine it's a little bit drizzly.
Okay, so she looks up and water drips from the brim of her hat, and she's like, this place. And she's got a very raspy voice. Don't like the feel of this place. And she looks over and sees him coming, and she will nod and then step forward and offer a gloved hand to this man. Selma Blackwood. Nice to meet you. These are my compatriots. And she nods to the first person behind her.
I'm gonna go ahead and make this your problem, G. Who do you introduce first?
These are my compatriots. This is Reverend Patrick Hellstrom. And she nods to...
And Reverend, what do you look like?
I'm still waking up, Mike. Give me a minute.
That's fine.
Error 404.
I think Reverend, honestly, he looks like your typical religious reverend.
Okay. Is he a tall man, a short man, a portly man?
About moderate height, rather thin, because he likes to only take his daily bread because the belief of, live in modesty.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is our Swedish friend. This is Carl Anders Oscar Sigurdsson.
You went with the whole thing, huh? What does Carl look like?
I am Carl Anders Oscar Sigurdsson. I am a very big man, have like very simple clothing, very strong. I used to be a farmhand back in the old country of Sweden. I come here to work and I'm working with these people now. Very nice to meet you. Yes, thank you.
Great. And this, sorry, Laura, this is a gentleman, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And this strapping young gentleman here is Officer Johan Linden, or Leiden.
Johan steps forward, and he's a rather, or at least at one point in time, was a very imposing man. Like, he still tries to keep in shape, but he's like getting on in age years now a little bit. So, do you know what I mean? So he's not young. I mean, so when you say that, he steps forward and blows out like his mustache, and he's got like, this has been a long time since I've been called young. But then he like holds out his hand and, a pleasure.
Yes, the foreman takes each hand offered to him in kind and shakes them. And you can feel the grip of a workman. But you can definitely sense that he is weary in this. As you first get off the carriage and you sort of assemble around Nathan, everyone go ahead and give me a vigilance check.
So this is Mr. Bell?
This is Mr. Bell, yeah.
Okay. I take it you're Mr. Bell?
Yeah, he would have introduced himself as he came over rather. He said, "Yes, I'm sorry. I do apologize. I am. My name is Nathan Bell, and please, I'm sorry. This way. and he motions you towards like a large like tent that he has set up here.
One success for everybody.
One
Yeah.
success for everybody.
Go team!
Go team indeed. So he begins to walk you through the camp, and as all of you sort of get a general like vibe check of this place, you notice a couple things. You notice everything I mentioned before, that everyone looks sort of like beleaguered and tired. But you notice that there are, without drawing a line or without saying so, there are two groups of people here. They all ostensibly look the same. They all look like, lumberjacks and timber workers and loggers, right? But there is like two distinct groups of huddling people in conversation, and there does not seem to be any cross-pollination between the two of these groups. You also see that in the second group, there is a large machine in that side of the camp. There is lumber around it, split and shaved. You imagine it is some sort of logging equipment. But yeah, that's what you see as you sort of walk through. The entire time you're getting like looks from people. No one's saying anything to you, but there are whispers sort of going around, giving the vibe of unease. You're more or less used to this. No one that's hired you, or no one that like knows who you guys are or what the society is, really fully understands what the society is. So you're kind of used to these vibes. As you walk through the camp, each of you notices that, and you see Nathan pulls back the flap of a larger tent, the admin tent, as it were. And allows the four of you to pass inside. You see a large table erected in there, a couple of like chairs, some made out of like just the split bottom of a log. And you see like there's a map of the area and like, marks for where they're going to clear cut land and that kind of thing. Everything looks like administratively to do in this place. But he holds the tent flap, allowing all of you to pass inside.
Have you, looks like you've maybe been taking some heat for calling us in here, Mr. Bell?
If only that was, no, your presence is will ultimately be a relief if you can solve this, if you can figure out what's happening. Any tension you sensed from outside is my own doing.
What in what way?
It's administrative, really, but there's a good local crew of loggers here, and business is business, and I have a deadline to reach, and so I thought it best to bring in an additional outside labor force, as well as the steam hauler you may have seen outside. All of course, to increase output rather, and the local teams aren't a fan of the new industry.
Yes, scab crews are typically frowned upon.
Well, first of all,
hard-working business.
There's no organization like that, and the other crew still works. They work hand in hand. We just need an additional. Regardless, this has nothing to do with what's.
I understand. Yes,
trees. The trees are. I'm sorry. The boy, the missing child is the final straw. The bleeding trees. Everything.
She looks at the Reverend. Are bleeding trees something of significance that you have heard of, Reverend?
I have not heard of bleeding trees in the various religions I have studied. It might be a form of paganism.
Hmm. And how long has the boy been missing? Do you have a lot of children hanging around the camp?
I wouldn't say that we have a lot of children. We have there's a few. Some of the loggers travel with their entire family. Some of the women folk here, the cooks and uh, 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 nurses, have children. This is not a place for children, but there are a few here that keep to themselves and know their place. The boy has not been known to wander out into the forest, and the strange thing is we found his coat, which isn't in itself strange, but the way we found it, his coat was well, his coat was a small tree was wearing his coat.
Like literally.
Quite. And when I say this is impossible to believe unless you've seen it. When I say wearing, the small tree, it wasn't small enough that you could pull a branch through one sleeve and then have enough fabric left to wrap around another branch. It's as if the coat were laying on the ground and then a tree sprouted up inside of it and grew out into the limbs, which obviously is impossible. And
it is the boy's coat.
Yes, as far as we can tell.
Mm-hmm. And how old is the boy?
He's 7 or 8.
Very good. Hmm. And what about this man?
I'm sorry. The worker.
Yes, she consults like a ratty notebook. A young boy and a man who was also missing.
Yes. Francis. We call him Frankie. Mr. Marsh. He. I'm not entirely sure what information you need to know. He's a veteran. He's a veteran logger. He's one of our scouts. We send him out to look for. You see, when it comes to logging, you can't just chop down every tree. They have to be of a certain age, a certain thickness, etc. There's many parameters, but Frankie was one of our best. He was one of our scouts. He would go out and mark a healthy pine, deeply superstitious man, and I'm not entirely sure what other information you would need about him, other than that he is, of course, missing.
And there has been no trees wearing his clothing?
No. He just didn't return after or after his shift, or ready himself for the next one.
When did the tree start bleeding? That's not even my voice. When did the tree start bleeding?
It's becoming a blur. Frankie disappeared. And a week went by, and the child disappeared. Sometime between the disappearance of Frankie and Silas.
So Frankie disappeared before the trees. Okay.
Frankie?
And are all of the trees bleeding, or just some of them? And do they only bleed when cut, or do they just randomly bleed?
They only bleed when cut, and every tree that we have cut has bled, and so we have stopped.
That is probably wise.
During this conversation, Reverend is looking through his Bible, and he actually comes upon a passage that does refer to bleeding trees.
Wild.
Yes, I actually just Googled that. It's like, is that the Bible?
Love that.
2 Esdras 5:15.
What does
What
it
does
say
it
about
say?
bleeding trees?
Blood will drip from trees, stones will speak, nations will be in confusion.
Sounds dire.
Fair.
Great. So if the ground starts talking to us, we know
Yeah.
we're on biblical ground. Great.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's been a long couple of weeks. Frankie had gone out. Oh no, I'm sorry. I misspoke. The trees. Shortly after Frankie, maybe the next day or so. I'm not entirely sure. That's when they started to. Frankie, you see, had gone out in the morning to inspect an area of trees. If they are incredibly sap laden, we cannot cut them. At least this season. And so he marks them separately, and that's his normal routine. But he never returned. And then shortly thereafter is when the trees began to bleed.
Can you mark on the map here? And then she pulls out of her pocket her own map of the area.
Mm-hmm.
Can you mark on our map here where his search or his scouting area was? Perhaps we can trace where his last route was.
And also where you found the coat.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
He marks your map and he says, "Well, this is where we were cutting in this area, and this area." And he marks a separate spot. Is prospective new felling area. So Frankie would have gone to the new area, but as I said, Frankie was a veteran in the field, and he knew his job better than I know his job. So he was well trusted. I don't know exactly where he had gone, but it would have been in this area where we were moving to. The boy, his coat was here, and he marks an area that is somewhere between like where had just been cut and where was about to be cut, but closer towards the edge of camp. He says the boy, he played around the camp. He never ventured far into the forest, usually at the edge. We didn't. If something were to take a child, I would assume a scream or a sign of a struggle or something, tilled earth or a drag. There was
In the
nothing.
daytime?
In the middle of we found the coat mid-afternoon, or well, early afternoon when his mother had come to us. She said he had been playing in the morning, so sometime between there, but there was nothing, no scream, no shouting, no one saw anything, no drag marks or anything of the kind.
What is the relationship between the missing man, Mr. Marsh, Frankie, and the boy Silas? Is they?
Oh,
Are
none.
they young people? No, yeah. Yeah.
No, the boy is just the son of Miss May, May Fenny. She's a cook for the camp. And as I said, Frankie is he's one of our scouts. No relation, no. They weren't together.
Well, the other people at the camp, will they be accepting of us going around asking questions and doing an investigation?
They'll be as acceptable as they're paid to be. Of course, they won't. They want to return. The longer this, not to sound like a staunch businessman, but the longer this happens, this continues, the less work we can do and the less they get paid. And of course, we want the boy returned safely and our man as well. But the men are superstitious, and we've already lost a few of them back to town, and I don't know if they'll return. But we did our own investigation. We asked everyone. No one has taken the boy, as far as we can tell, and everyone wants him found.
No weird people wandering around who shouldn't be, I assume.
No, we have a head count for everyone that we, of course, minus the men who have left, but we have a head count for everyone who should be here, minus the two who are missing.
I don't have any good manipulation skills. I'm sorry. I want to see if he's being truthful.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me manipulation. Roll me manipulation.
Just trying to think. Is it influence of the people to think? I'm just not sure it's that. Vigilance, tracking,
It's either that or
observation.
the empathy one.
Inspiration.
It's either inspiration
It's
or manipulation.
observation. Because I think observation is more observing people, whereas vigilance is like
vigilance is like your
classic
surroundings.
perception.
Yeah, observation.
Okay, I prefer observation. No successes.
Okay. You look at him. He is tired.
Yeah.
He is beleaguered. He wants this done. And he's not like showing a lack of empathy for the missing people. He genuinely wants them found. So as far as you can tell, he doesn't seem to have, and he's the one that hired you, so he doesn't seem to have any reason to hide anything.
Sure. May I make a forward suggestion, Mr. Bell?
Yeah, yes, of course.
If you don't mind me saying, you look like you've seen better days, like you haven't had a good night's sleep in quite a while.
None of us have. We have no idea what happened to these people, what they were taken by, an animal or themselves. We have rotating watches all throughout the day and through the night.
She nods, and she kind of pulls up her belt, and she tightens this in, like she's getting ready to go out, and she says, "I suggest that you all have a good sit down, have a good meal. Everyone take the day off and just relax and rest. High stress, especially if there's something of a supernatural nature going on, usually can make things worse. So if you have a casket of mead hanging around or some ale, maybe pass it around just to ease everyone's nerves a little bit. And we will conduct our investigation."
I'll do my best to heed your advice. Please, just a moment. And he steps out of the tent, and you can hear him shouting out, and just attention, everyone! As he begins to announce your presence and let everyone know that you'll be conducting an investigation. These fine folks are from New Arkham, and they are headed here to help us find Silas and Frankie. Please. I know we've done an investigation. I know we've questioned everyone. I know we've done a search of the woods, but please do your best to answer anything they may have. Any information you might have may help them in their investigation. And you can see that he's sure to make references that make it sound like you may be like police or people in authority, but never says that you're like weirdos that investigate spooky shit, right?
Yes.
So he kind of like threads a fine line to give you authority versus making you sound supernatural.
As he's talking, like as soon as he leaves the tent and the flap settles, Sasha turns to the other three and out of her pocket she pulls a pouch of tobacco and she starts rolling a very thick cigarette again. Thoughts initially, folks?
Well, back in Sweden, the woods are very dangerous. We are often warned of never going into the woods alone. So that seems to track, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I wonder if they've seen something else. Usually when people get taken, if they are more than one, the other ones say that they've seen something, something calling or something snarling or something scratching, and then they get taken and disappear. So I wonder if someone's seen anything around.
I agree. Maybe perhaps we could talk to the people who are closest with Frankie, who may have worked side by side with him. And maybe we should talk to Miss Fenny, Silas's mother. And perhaps some of the other children. Reverend, you're good with children, aren't you?
Children are something of a complicated mix. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. Though do take care with the mother. She would probably be in great distress.
Johann, you are great talking to distressed women.
Even the Reverend kind of face palms upon hearing that comment.
Yes, Johann, you love a distressed woman.
Making them distressed. Talking to distressed women. Tit for tat,
Johann's just like, okay, it's like,
Do you know how it sounds when you say things like that?
I just like to make you blush, Johann,
just
She
sticks his nose in the air.
You hear Nathan Bell's like announcement end, and he sort of pokes his head back in the tent and he says, "They'll answer anything, any questions you have. I'm sorry, and if you get any guff or back talk from them, please don't hesitate to come grab me."
We will. We will not hesitate. No. Well, please have a sit. Have some coffee. Carl?
Yeah.
You sound like you were going to say something?
No.
Oh. Right. So Sasha will open the curtain, Selma will open the curtain and make her way out.
Okay. You head out. What's everyone else doing?
I think Carl will just walk with Selma.
Yeah, I think Selma's, because she's a hunter by trade, So I think, and she'll explain to them, I think I'm going to go perhaps investigate the area where Mr. Marsh vanished. See if I could pick up a trail.
Okay. So Carl, you're following Selma. Where is Johann and the Reverend headed?
Well, how far away is this area? That because if it's like quite far away, and Johann will suggest that we don't go wandering off in the woods. Just two of us. Like, if you know what I mean. But if it's just like, I don't know, then yelling distance, but I'm assuming it's not.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I think it's over there.
Yeah, it's not exactly in yelling distance,
Right.
but a little bit outside of yelling distance. Like you will, so Selma and Carl head to the area, you will lose sight of them. But it's not like an hour's journey or a day's journey into the forest. It's probably like a good 20 minutes away, walking at a casual pace. But it's just like it's gonna be through some trees outside the tree line. You're going into the forest. Not so far that like it's inconvenient.
Okay. Okay. So then, if we're gonna say do we want to interview people in the camp first before we leave the camp?
Yes. Johann would like to. Also, he would like to maybe just from his, like education. He's an educated man. Just from studies, because in what year period are we in here? Like what?
We are in the 1800s, notionally.
Okay, yeah. So people, the gentlemen study things like, sometimes the sciences and stuff. So he just wants to think, like, if he's ever heard of, like, just red sap, for instance, like, have there been any, botanists written any studies on, at certain times of year, yes, the sap can turn red. So he's just, like, thinking, like, did I read anything about, like literally just sap turning red from a scientific point of view?
Yeah, go ahead and roll learning for me.
Can I assist as being a hunter and being out in nature?
Let me think here. You can yeah, you know what? I'll give you a bonus of 1, Johann.
I suppose if we talk it through, together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And,
as we're walking around like the different campfires and stuff like that, and
yeah, go ahead and roll me a learning with a +1.
No.
Perfect. I mean, that like sap is generally like an amber brown orangey kind of color. Like depending on like when they're cut, it could be darker. Yeah, you've heard some tell that like in Africa there's a type of tree that like the sap is like a deep red. But like you don't know much about that. It was just sort of like a one of those like gentleman's club cigar, like, old pipe over a newspaper. Someone casually mentioned, oh yes, the occupation and blah blah blah. Talking about like Northern Africa. Yeah, but you don't know really anything substantial about it. So you head out to chit chat about, just to chit chat to the larger community here. Are you guys splitting off to talk to people, or are you just sort of going as a group?
The Reverend is going to speak to the children.
Okay.
Sweet.
I think Johann would like to speak to the locals, He's kind of digging for information on, because several times now the guy in charge mentioned them being superstitious folk. So he's he wants to try and get at like what superstitions, are they on about, So yeah, whether they're relevant or not, it doesn't matter. Like, but he's just like, what precisely superstitions? What are the tales, that people talk about, or is it just a case of I always wear my blue sweater on a Tuesday kind of superstitions? Like this is my lucky axe. But yeah, so he just kind of wants to talk to the local crew people and just
Absolutely. So the Reverend is going to talk to the kids. Johan's talking to the locals. Selma and Carl, where are you headed?
Well, Selma, maybe we should not head out too far into the woods. But the boy, he was found not so far. We should maybe also look at his coat tree. Yes? Yeah?
You want to look at his tent? Is that what you're saying?
Coat.
No, the coat tree.
Oh, the coat tree. Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. That sounds like a very fascinating idea. A tree wearing a coat.
Yeah. Very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. We will head towards where on the map where he X'd where the coat tree is.
I wasn't muted. Okay, cool. We're gonna start with the Reverend, the good Reverend. Reverend, you head through the camp, and there are a few other children. They are not at play. They are sort of there's two of them. They are gathered with what you presume to be either their family or caretaker. And you see there is a young girl. There's a young boy, and there is another young boy. And they are all sort of around a single tent. And from within the tent, you can hear like muffled sobbing. And you can see that there are like every once in a while, like one of the loggers sort of comes over and like checks on the kids. And the kids are all like sat on like cut logs, all just sort of like poking sticks in the dirt, flipping over a bug. They're stuck here, but don't have a full concept other than like their friend is missing. You see these three kids, and one of them, there's an older boy, a girl, and a younger boy. They all kind of see you approaching after hearing Nathan's announcement. And the older boy stands up and he says, good afternoon. Father, is there anything that I can do to help?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, young man. I wish to speak to you and the other kids about your missing friend and see what truth we can dig up and see if we can find him.
Okay. Great. My name is Emmett. This is Josie. And this is Styx. And you look at the kid that he called Styx. And Styx looks like his eyes are red. His nose is runny, his eyes are red. He looks like he hasn't slept in days either. And you look like this kid has been crying for days. He's the youngest boy. He says, we told the grown-ups everything we knew. But I mean, they didn't really. I don't know. We saw Silas talking, and he like kind of nods to everyone. He was talking to trees, which I guess is I don't know. I guess maybe he's playing pretend. I guess it's not that strange. Yeah, and he sort of like grabs his elbow and like sort of kicks the dirt. But he was talking he's talking to trees. And that was the day before. You know. And the little girl speaks up and she says, and he started humming a song. He had been humming it for, I don't know, a few weeks now, and we never heard it before. And we asked him where he heard it, and he said the lady in the trees told him about it. And I just thought he meant like one of the cooks or one of the nurses. But when we asked him who it was, he just sort of laughed. And we didn't really. Sometimes he just makes stuff up, which is fine. You know, we all make stuff up. But yeah, he said a lady, a lady makes told him a song, and she lives in the trees. Yeah.
Sometimes nature speaks to us if we choose to listen. That is belief in some traditions. As for this song, do you have any vague sense on what it sounded like? I will not. If you do not, I will not pressure you to repeat it.
Oh, yeah, he just sort of hummed it. It sounded kind of like this. And she starts to hum it. And then Emmett kind of like goes, no, it sounded a little bit like kind of like this. Like you're doing too much of that. And they kind of go back and forth, and you get a semblance of like what the song sounded like. But they just hum it, and they say that's exactly how that's how Silas hummed it as well.
The Reverend takes it in, trying to memorize it so he can tell the others afterwards when they reconvene. And then he looks at the tent where the sobbing is coming from. Is the mother inside?
Yeah, yes, sir. That's Styx's mom in there, and Silas.
Revan looks at Styx and realizes it's like, oh, you must be the younger sibling, without saying it.
He looks to you, and as soon as like your eyes make contact, he looks down to the ground, and you can see like his the way he's like bent forward. You can see his back sort of like heave a little bit as he is quietly crying.
The Reverend slowly approaches and kind of ruffles his hair. Do not worry, young. Do not worry, young Styx. We will find them. Take comfort in that fact. For now, you should rest and let yourself mourn.
Roll me investigation or vigilance.
I was thinking, is he asking for an inspiration?
No. I think for you, investigation is your better one.
Yeah, it's like that's my stronger stat. Oof.
No successes. As a reminder, as with most freely games, you can push in this game. All you have to do is you take a condition after you re-roll, but it allows you to re-roll any roll if you'd like to.
Table, should I?
An investigation roll? It's up to you. Maybe, because we haven't learned anything yet other than what Belle has told us. Right? It's up to you.
The thing is, I'm looking at like the various conditions, and none of them would make sense to push for trying to find information, because it's like, at what moment? Why at this point would the Reverend become angered?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's just like,
I mean,
I don't think I have a.
He could feel hopeless. That's the closest one.
Mm-hmm.
He's a man of faith. Feeling hopeless would mean quite a bit of context there.
Fair.
True.
Yeah, you ruffle Styx's hair, and he doesn't say anything or look up at you or anything of the kind. And you see Emmett sort of kind of take a step towards you, and he says, I'm sorry, sir. He's been like that since his brother disappeared. He hasn't talked in days. I don't know that he'll be any help. His ma neither. She's just sort of been
inspiration roll. I want to inspire Styx to basically let what he's holding inside out.
Ooh.
interesting. Go ahead and try. Go ahead and give me an inspiration roll. I like that.
I shall save the fine wines because this is a kid, so I won't add the +1.
He pulls out a flask. And like,
I see the dice are not working.
You offer some kind words, that are both applicable to this moment and also like understandable from the mind of a child. Styx looks up at you, and you can see like his like not like dirty, but like you're outside, right? So your dirty face. You can see like there's streak marks down his face. And he like the barest movement of his lips in the shape of a smile as he nods, just like the bare minimum of respect towards an adult in this moment is kind of what he gives you before looking back down, and you see like a big fat like bloop in the dirt beneath his foot as a tear falls off of his cheek.
The Reverend nods, kind of understanding. He's like, now is not the right time. Give the kid more time type deal.
The kids look to you and they say, if we can think of anything else, Mr. I'm sorry, Father, we'll tell you.
Do not worry.
We want to
about
find Silas
here.
as much as anybody.
Just a man. Do not worry about titles. I am just another man.
Oh, okay. We want to find our friend. So anything we can do to help, we will. I'm sorry we weren't more helpful.
I appreciate it. Anything is helpful. You have already helped me even in the smallest amounts.
Perfect. And we cut from the Reverend to Johan. Johan, you are making your way through the camp of locals, chit-chatting with people. Let me see here. Johan, go ahead.
I think he will share in turn as well. Just little various ones that, because he was a soldier. He was an officer. So I think he will also share like, superstitions that the soldiers had, and also ones of maybe specific places that he went when he was on tour as well, like kind of in return, so that they don't necessarily feel stupid about seeing it. Do you know what I mean? So that they realize that like he kind of gets it, if you know what I mean. That like,
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, just so I can get a baseline here. Go ahead and give me either inspiration or manipulation with a bonus of 1 for your history, your storytelling.
Not good at manipulation. Inspiration, maybe. Come on, dice. Oh. No.
Okay.
The dice don't like us tonight.
They want this kid. So you head around the camp, talking to people. By and large, you get, unfortunately, the superstitious side you don't want. That they are like, when we do new cuts, I always wear these socks on the first day. The first tree we fell doesn't go to the lumberyard. It gets burnt in the campfires for good luck, right? These are like traditions held by the loggers. You do get a bit of information that Frankie was a little bit more superstitious than other people. Frankie liked to talk to trees. So you get one of the guys sort of stands up to you or is sitting down, milling over a bowl of wet brown, a stew of some kind. You imagine something hearty that sticks to your ribs. And as you're talking to him, he says, "Yeah, each of us has our own, bit of superstition or whatever you want to call it." But Frankie, he was a little out there. He talked to trees and not the way that like a man might speak aloud and puzzle through a problem they're having, but he talked to the trees in a way that would make you think they answer back. And of course the trees.
Yep, it's nonsense.
And he was always we just thought it was Frankie being being an old man. No offense, sir. But he would mark a path for us. If we were going from here to the next clearing site, he'd mark a path along the way. And every time he would tell us not to step off the path. Of course, we'll try. We'll humor the man. He's a good man. He's smart. He's always never let us astray. But we just thought it was a weird, just a weird feature, a weird thing that he did. We humored him, but he would always mark a path, and he would always say that the trees would know if we walked off the path, which we just sort of laughed off. But now, I don't know, maybe Frankie had the right of it. And Johan, you get a feeling that like the things that the locals knew about Frankie and the things that they just sort of brushed off as like, oh, that's just Frankie being Frankie. That's just weird old man shit. That is slowly like permeating through the locals, and they're all kind of becoming of the opinion of like, maybe Frankie knew something we didn't know. And there's also that growing level of superstition that like, we'd never seen anything, but Frankie's been doing this a long time. Maybe he's seen something. Maybe he knew something. Maybe Frankie was right all along. And that's sort of like slowly under the surface permeating to the locals.
Fair dues.
And
yeah, so once he realizes he's not going to get much like useful, as it were, other than that, but he's not going to get like, boogie tails is what he was hoping for, boogeyman tails. Really, it's just like, yeah. So he just kind of wanders off to look for, I guess, the Reverend, because he knew he was sticking around camp, see if he's finished with what he's doing.
Perfect. You head off to the Reverend, and we'll cut to Selma and Carl. Where are you guys?
Yeah, we're making our way up to check out the jacket tree, the coat tree.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the coat is still on the tree.
Correct. The coat is still on the tree.
Okay.
You head into the woods, or not into the woods proper, but into the woods. You head. You're an outdoorsman, Selma. You're a hunter. there's a difference between the woods and the forest, right? You head into the woods. About a for your frame of reference, G, about a football field and a half away from the logger camp.
Okay,
You know?
that's kind of far. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kinda far.
But it's the
All right.
woods. It's not the forest. It's not the thick trees. It's small. You can kind of.
It's not like that.
Correct. Yeah. If you kind of
Okay.
like look around a little bit, you might be able to still see enough through the trees to see a little bit of fire.
Okay.
You head into the woods based on this little map here. You crest a soft ridge thick with pine needles. And the sound of camp life disappears behind you. The air here is still unnatural. Is still and unnatural. Not exactly silent, but sort of like holding its breath. You can hear, you and Carl, you can hear every twig crack beneath your boot, and everything sounds way louder here, even your own breath. And as you crest this ridge, you see at the center of a small clearing stands a young pine sapling. No more than 4 feet tall, but it looks like, you know, Selma and Carl, you come from hard stock, right? Like Carl, you're a laborer. Selma, you're a hunter. So this hits you as out of place immediately, but it looks beautiful, like someone's captured it in a painting. If it weren't so strange and otherworldly, you see a young pine sapling, no more than 4 feet tall, completely unblemished. The needles on this tree are vibrant green, as if it had only like sprouted and matured quickly. Like these are like that vibrant green of like an older of a tree that has had time to mature. And wrapped around it is a small red woolen coat.
Yeah. So when he says he's wearing the coat, like is the coat done up, and the branch?
No, it's not. It's not buttoned. It is. You see like a breeze sort of ruffles the coat, and you see it like flap like a cape almost.
Okay, but the branches are like through the armholes and stuff.
Yep.
So it literally looks like this thing is wearing the jacket.
Yep.
Is the coat looking like old and like torn, or is it like nice, new, and
It's a child's coat, so it looks like a child's coat. Like, so it looks like it's dirty. Like, it's not like tattered and old and shitty, right? But it's like a kid who is currently living in a forest, who wears a coat every day and is playing with other kids in a forest. So it looks like appropriately dirty and disheveled.
right? So it hasn't been like unnaturally aged on this tree.
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
Can I use my hunter knowledge and my forest knowledge to determine the age of this tree?
Not without cutting it down.
Fuck. Okay. Can I give an estimate, like based on like the circumference of the trunk and stuff like that, and its height and like the species of the tree?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a learning. Let me see. Does any other bullshit apply here? I'll give you a +1 for bullshit.
Okay. For my
Your hunter knowledge.
No.
You guys are on fire.
Oh my god. We all succeeded that first roll we made, and then nothing.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I play Necro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris cursed the dice. You look at this tree and like this is a couple years growth.
Mm-hmm. Like I basically I want to know if the tree is the same age as the boy. Give or take.
You know, I'd love to answer that question for you, but with the 0 successes, that's what you get.
Okay.
Are you physically like at the tree? Like, have you gone up to it?
I'm assuming so.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you are both there, feel free to give me a investigation check from the two of you.
That I can do.
Investigation.
Get how I even
Can you?
tried. Can I? I don't know. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Nice. We're
Okay, I'm
not
gonna
surviving this. Everyone in the camp is dying. Is gonna die.
I'm gonna
Okay.
back out.
Wild.
Go back.
Everyone refresh your browser. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm gonna exit roll 20. and
It's
then
like
come
when just the B team, the A team was sent on a more important mission.
Yeah.
back.
This is the downfall of the society right here, is they all die in a forest.
I think Carl's gonna go up to like the tree with the coat on it and say like, "Oh, if only you could talk to me, Pat." And he's going to check through the coat, like the coat pockets and things, to see if there's anything in the coat.
You rifle through the pockets of the coat and you find that they are full of pine needles, like collected pine needles.
Selma, there's very many needles in here.
They're green as well. Not like the ones, like the brown
Needles.
ones you would find on the ground.
You see how much green needles these are?
Yeah, fresh.
Hmm.
Can I tell? Are they young needles, like from a sapling like this, or?
They don't appear to be. They appear to be like mature needles.
Okay. So they have some girth and thickness to them.
Yeah. If that's how you want to describe your needle, I guess.
Well,
I've never compared the girth of pine needles in my life.
Well, they're more chonky boys, like slightly more chonky than like a baby needle would be.
You know,
what I mean?
You're clearly the expert on pine needles, G. So
I'm
gonna let
talking
you.
about pine needles, okay?
I'm gonna let you have this one.
You know what I'm trying.
She does watch your
I hate you all.
Who knew? Who knew that we'd be talking about the girth of pine needles in this episode? What a spicy Vaesen we have here. Oh
Jesus
goodness
Christ.
gracious. Yeah, these are thick, girthy, veiny pine needles. These are very mature, after dark pine needles.
If you compared the two, I think you would know what I'm talking about.
Never in my life have I ever done that, though. But I believe you. I believe you.
Jesus.
Oh God, golly, gee willikers.
Anyways, I'm gonna push that investigation roll.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
So take the condition after you push.
Yeah. Let's see if roll 20 fixed.
Hell yeah,
Nope.
0 successes. We're crushing it. Crushing it. What condition are you taking?
I'm taking hopeless.
Fair.
Well, we might as well go home.
Fair. Yeah, so you rifle through the pockets, you find pine needles, girthy, thick, veiny pine needles. You look around this place and everything seems very still here. Like you realize that in this moment you can't you don't actually hear any birds. You don't hear Selma. Perhaps it is the strange nature of what's happening here. Perhaps the fact that like it's even for you as a seasoned woods person, nothing is sticking out here. Like there's nothing to be found. As absurd as it sounds, the fear that none of you want to admit that perhaps where this kid stood, he turned into a tree, is looking more and more probable, though preposterous. You don't hear any birds, any bugs, any sounds other than the sounds you're making here in this forest. And that is deeply unsettling for someone like you, Selma.
Yeah. I guess, can I check around the surrounding area? Maybe like 20 feet around the sapling? Just
Sure.
see if there's anything maybe possibly like belonging to the boy or any kind of other clue.
Sure.
Yeah,
Go ahead and
Carl would definitely search for other belongings.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me investigation.
Can I argue vigilance?
I'll take it just to see if we get a single success today.
Please. Yes, a single success.
There it is.
Um,
Carl,
like-
are you moving in the same direction? Are you like going a distance out like Selma is, or are you looking specifically like around the tree itself, looking at the kid stuff?
I think he would be more looking around the tree itself. Like he was searching through the coat, and then we look like around the tree, see if there's any belongings on the ground. Sort of take the ground foliage things, just move it. Brush it aside.
Yeah.
See if we can find something.
All right, go ahead and roll me vigilance as well. Outstanding. You look around, Selma. You look around and you notice a couple things. You notice that there, upon like very close inspection, you notice that there are footprints, right, coming and going from this place. Which you would imagine as the people found the coat, were looking for the boy.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of footprints sort of meandering around this clearing as though people were searching for this kid, which is what you expect to find. You don't, however, find any sort of belonging dropped or misplaced by this child. But you also don't find any of this kid's footprints. All the footprints you find are adult-sized. There are no, maybe the child's footprints got trampled on leading up to where the tree is, but there are definitely no other child-sized footprints in this clearing.
Yeah, she'll point that out to Carl. It's a distinct lack of child footprints.
That is very odd.
Yes. Unfortunately, we don't know that the others learned that he talks to trees.
Carl, you are looking around the tree. You're trying to figure out what the hell's going on with this thing, what's around here, and something catches your eye. Two things. There's a pattern on the bark that doesn't match the rest of the patterning on the bark, right? Like a pine tree should kind of have like almost like straight line, like craggly straight lines that sort of come down the tree itself, the way the bark should go. You see a pattern that like doesn't exactly look like rings, but definitely looks like it goes from being like vertical to like, excuse me, a patch of like horizontal, almost, which strikes you as odd. You also see the very base of the tree, which does have like, it does look like forested. There's like a base of like needles that have fallen off or from people like jostling the coat, perhaps. But the base of the tree looks fresher than what a forested floor should look like. Almost like this tree was planted here a few days ago. Almost like the earth was tilled in this area, just directly below the tree. So you notice those two things. Would you like to investigate further? Would you like to look a little deeper?
Yes, he would, especially for that ring pattern things. That seems really odd. But yes.
You look to the ringed pattern, and there's something familiar about it that like you can't quite shake. It definitely looks like there are 4 like rings around this tree. And they're all like, they're not like separated. They're all like sort of stacked on top of each other. And as you're kind of trying to figure this out, it looks like it's like this, like almost like indentations on the tree. And you look at the tree, and you kind of look at these rings, and there's a moment where like you hold your hand out, perhaps to like move the tree or touch, and you catch sight of your own hand. And there's a moment where you're looking at your hand, and then you sort of turn it around and make to grab the tree, and the lines match up with a much smaller hand, as if some hand held the tree. And those are the 4 horizontal lines you see, the lines of a grasping hand holding onto a tree.
Oh. Selma, if you look at this,
She comes over and hunkers down.
does this match a small child hand to you?
She holds it up. It does, doesn't it?
Also, if you look at the bottom of tree, does this look like it is fresher than other rest of tree?
It does. And Mike, when you say fresh tilled, like you mean like it looks like this, like literally this tree was deposited here.
Yeah, like the ground looks like it's been turned up, or like so now there's like that like kind of hardened, exposed to the air layer of earth on the top, and then if you like dig a little bit, the dirt is like loamier and softer. It looks like softer, loamy dirt.
Yes. So if you look at other trees, this looks fresher than around other trees. Yes. Yeah.
I can't remember when approximately fingerprinting was discovered. Not yet. But does it look like there's like what like she wouldn't recognize it, I guess, as fingerprints, but does it look like different striations like
it looks like bark.
Lines?
It looks like bark.
Still looks like,
yeah, for sure.
Bark? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And how high is the hand mark or the hand mark?
Probably like midway up the tree, so like the middle of the coat.
Peculiar. Perhaps we should get back to the others and see what they've learned and see if they need any help.
I think that sounds like a very good idea. Yeah.
Right. Let's go.
So we'll cut from the clearing back to Reverend and Johan. Reverend, you have spoken to the children. Johan, you have spoken to the people in the camp. And the two of you have reconvened. And you notice that your companions have gone off. They had mentioned going up to look for the sapling with the coat. They must have gone and done that. So the two of you are together in the camp as Selma and Carl are headed back. But before they get there, what are the two of you doing?
Johan they'll probably like bump into each other, possibly looking for each other, unless the Reverend did want to try and get in and talk to the mother, in which case then Johan will probably find him still at the tent kind of thing.
Yeah, where would Johan find you, Reverend?
Of course, I have both mute buttons pushed. The Reverend... Sorry, my mind's not working right now for some reason.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. In which case, like, Johan will just approach Reverend wherever he encounters him.
I would say he hasn't gone into the tent. He's kind of a few steps away to leave the children alone. And he's just kind of inking and waiting for the others.
Perfect. Yeah, so you would see him near the children, like nearby.
So I think he'll just quietly, as quietly as Johan can, because he's not a quiet guy, really, to be fair. Probably his ears are shut, more like cannons. Just the sound of cannons all the time does not for your hearing, really doesn't.
Yeah. little deaf.
But yeah, just try not to talk about loudly. He'll just be like,
when I meant superstition, I didn't really mean that. But I did learn that apparently Frankie used to, talk to the trees. They all seem to at least agree on that.
The kids mentioned the same thing.
What, that Frankie talked to trees or the child did?
The child did as well.
Huh.
Maybe there's something out there that's influencing them. Maybe they hear a voice from the trees.
Well, then we probably need to go into the forest.
Are you sure that is the wisest idea?
God, no. That's probably the only one that'll get us answers. But is anything we ever do a good idea?
Everything we do is a good idea in some sense, because it's always a good idea to help those who have troubles.
It's never good for our health, though.
The children mentioned a song that the child hummed, and the Reverend's going to kind of recreate the song.
You do. Johan, you've never heard this song before either.
No, means nothing to me.
Doesn't mean much to me either, but maybe that's what they heard.
As the two of you converse about what you found, you see the secondary camp of people, the adjacent camp. One of the men comes over to your group, and you see a couple times he like glances back and looks at like a group of people as if like he drew the short straw. He comes over and he's young, probably new in the business of logging, probably in his early 20s. He doesn't have the frame of a logger. He's still a little bit skinnier than everyone else here. A little bit smaller arms, as it were. And he comes over and he says, "Hey, I don't know. I don't know how much of this is going to be useful to you, but the locals, we got into a scrap a few days ago, and they accused us of stealing their tools, or breaking them, like we're some kind of sneak thief. We're here to do the job just the same. One fella's saw, it was all the teeth were like broken, like as if someone used it to try to saw a stone or something. A couple axes have gone missing. A couple axe handles were found with no head. They blamed us, and if you pardon my language, Father, but honest to God, we didn't take them, and I get it, they're blaming us because we get hired after they did, and they think they can handle the job, and I'm sure they can, but we didn't steal nothing. One of the boys said something about forest tricks. He heard a story when he was a kid about creatures in the forest that would maybe play tricks on you, and maybe it's that. This all seems a little bit more than tricks. When that.
And what about you? Have you had any of your gear go missing or damaged?
No, I think we're I think everyone has all their things. At least I think so. We haven't worked in a few days, but we did take a look when they accused us of having extras, and we didn't have any extras. When that Francis guy, we thought he was just, he was an older man. We weren't sure if he just maybe got lost. They said he was the best scout they had, but the kid missing, that doesn't seem like a prank, or a trick. And then there was and he looks real nervous, and he keeps looking back to the group behind him. And there was did anyone mention the birds?
What? No.
Well, listen. There's no birds. Couple of days ago, before the kid, there's a tree. There's a tree in the area that we felled. That's where we first saw the blood. The stump is bleeding like a neck. It just won't. It just keeps coming out.
Still.
None of us have gone to see, but we had gone out there to search for Francis, and there was dead birds, like a lot of dead birds. Like more than there had any right to be.
Okay, now I'm really puzzled. What would trees have against birds?
Well, if you can believe it, it's not the strangest part. They were, I don't know. They fell, like they had fallen out of the sky, like they had just, or I don't know, they landed. But they were all sort of splayed at strange angles, so it was like they fell out of the sky. But they were all in a circle around the stump. Like they were scattered about, and there was an area where the birds stopped before the stump, but they were all in a circle around it. And we got out of there. We called the search off that day. And then a few days later, the kid disappeared. And Mr. Bell's been hard pressed to get a search party going, and we want to find the kid. But there's something out there. Something ain't right.
Well, we'll figure it out. Or maybe this time we'll die.
I hope that helps. I hope you find the kid.
You did well, lad.
And he reaches out and pats him on the shoulder with a big hand.
Don't pop.
Thanks, sir.
Now, run along and tell your friends what a good job you did.
Okay. And he sort of nods to you and father. And he skedaddles back to his buddies.
An extra round of rations for you, sir.
Yeah, for you, I declare it. I think as you see this, as your eye line follows this kid running off, as you go to look back towards each other, you see coming out of the woods is Selma and Carl back towards you. Selma, Carl, you see the Reverend and Johann sort of standing together. You see a young man departing from a conversation with them as the four of you reconvene.
And as they were walking, I think she finishes her cigarette and she looks down like she's going to deposit the remains. Then she just kind of like smushes it in between her fingers and then puts it in her pocket. And it's very curious, the lack of birds and the lack of wildlife in the area. No squirrels or anything.
Yeah, it's very still as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Strange.
Very.
Um,
How much time did you spend in the library back in New Arkham, Carl?
Oh, I am not very much of a reader. English, is very hard for me. So not that much, no.
I recall reading this passage. Have you ever heard of an ash tree wife before?
Ash tree wife. See, ash is from fire that's burnt.
Or a type of tree is also an ash, and they they reach up with the Reverend and Johann.
So an ashy tree and a wife. I know what a wife is. I don't have one.
Yes. I believe the ash tree wife is known as like a guardian of the forest, but in this specific entry that I read, it mentioned the air thick with unease and no birds in the vicinity. Does that not ring a bell to what's going on here?
Does. Reverend, Mr. Yuan, hello, we are back.
Ah, good, you're back.
Anything interesting?
The children mention a song and the fact that both missing individuals spoke to the trees.
And apparently somewhere out there's a bloody stump with a lot of dead birds around it.
Oh,
That might be the best place to go next.
What about
that
you?
is very interesting.
Well, the sapling is very peculiar. It's wearing the coat, and Carl saw what looked like a handprint in the bark.
Yeah, you know how bark looks for pine trees, and this had like rings, like small child had grasped there at, yeah. And it also, the tree, remember Selma, the tree looked newly planted. Earth, dirt down was fresher than other trees.
As in by hand, not natural growth.
Yeah.
And while there was tons of adult footprints, there was no footprints of children, which is
No. Especially not like walking up like a child would walk up to tree, but the coat was on the tree, like in through and branches through as well. Very strange.
Perhaps we should go check out this bleeding stump. If it is, what significant is this specific stump? Was it just?
It was just another odd thing that was noted. As well as tools going missing. That's what's causing the brouhaha between everyone at camp here. Well, one of the reasons.
Yes. Can we find out where this tree was, this stump?
You do. You find out exactly where it was. The kid told you, in the area that they cleared a few days ago. I mean, well, a few weeks ago. So you remember from Nathan's map, there was an area that they cleared, and then the area they were about to clear, and the about to clear area was where Frankie was headed.
Okay. So I think we're ready to head that way now.
Okay. You guys take your leave of camp, and you head into the woods and into the forest proper. As you push deeper into the forest, the well-worn tracks of logging trails giving way to churned soil and wide stumps of what were once giants. The deeper you go, the quieter it becomes, unnaturally so, as if even the wind is holding its breath. No birds call, no insects hum, just the wet sound of your boots in the mud and the occasional distant cracking of a shifting trunk. And then you see it. The grove opens up before you, like a wound in the earth, once sacred, now ruined. A large circle of immense pine stumps, hacked clean and raw, ring a patch of earth that seems somehow older than the rest. In the center lies the great stump, a weeping, dark red sap pooling thickly in the grooves like coagulated blood. Around its base are displaced stones, half sunk in the moss, forming the outline of a circle. What do you see? What do you do?
Well, this place looks significant.
Oh, and the birds.
This
Sorry.
This clearly looks like a
Birds.
ritual site.
And are the stones you said buried under the moss? Like the circle was broken a long time ago.
The circle seems to be old. So as you guys make your way through this clearing, careful to avoid the birds, there are birds of all kind, all native to the area. But you see that around the stump, this is a sizable stump, like a pretty good, 3 foot wide stump. This is a big ass tree. Would be a lot of lumber. You see that there is a like stones that sort of form a circle that are like half buried, moss covered. Like the circle was made a long time ago.
Are they like standing stones?
No, they're more like the stones you would put in a wall. They're just like
Mason? Like, are they masoned or are they rough?
no, they're like rough stones. Like you would dig them out of the ground and like you were to make a fire pit or a fire, like a ring for a fire. Kind of like that. Everyone feel free to roll me investigation as you approach the tree.
You know what? We will try.
You sure will.
We will.
Johan will actually as well. He wants to check out the birds to see like if there's anything wrong, whether they just look like birds that have just smacked off the ground or whether they look diseased or
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me. Go ahead and roll me medicine. Selma.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, you disappeared off camera.
Okay.
You vanished. The streets have taken you. You approach this thing with your companions and you inspect this ring.
Yeah.
And
with stones.
scattered about the ring under twig and root and pine needle, thick girthy pine needles. And under the moss, you find little bits and bobs. You see rusted coins. You see fragments of what you presume to have once been like dolls, the kinds you like twist up from like hay or something, or some sort of like material that would like a wooden doll of some kind. You see manufactured items like a clay pipe. You see bundles of things. You're not entirely sure. They look like knotted, maybe like almost hempen. A rope of some kind tied with some sort of string. You see a bunch of these things like scattered and about the ring circle. Some of them seem to have been like recently turned up from the ground. As you see a lot of like footprints here, where you would see like several people on one side of the tree and the other as they're sawing it back and forth. You see a lot of like turned earth here where like boots had come through. But it seems as though there are little trinkets all about here, old trinkets all around here. Perhaps offerings. Johan, you hesitate a little bit and you poke around at these birds. The young man who spoke to you had the right of it. They look like they fell out of the sky. They are splayed at odd angles, not at an angle in which, like, you know how like a bird like lands and their like wings sort of, you know, fold back and they're sort of hopping around. None of them look like bird, like a standing bird. They all look like wings out birds, as if they Bermuda triangled right here and fell out of the sky. They all seem to be, and as you look with your success, I imagine you kind of grab an implement of some kind, maybe like your saber in its scabbard or a stick, and you sort of like turn them up a little bit. They're not broken. It's not like a bird flew into a house and it like, you know, broke a wing or neck. They just seem to have stopped and fallen from the sky.
And like in a definitive circle around
the birds themselves are sort of scattered, but there is a point where they all stop, and that stopping forms a circle around the tree. Like they all, like, imagine if there was a force field around the tree, and they all just sort of like died around this force field.
What a sad state. What a beautiful tree this must have been. Reverend, can you recreate that song that the children taught you?
They weren't positive on what it sounded like, but I can give it my best shot.
Hmm.
I don't know what the...
Go ahead and roll me inspiration, Reverend.
Inspiration.
Let's go. Yay!
Hooray.
Hell yeah. Reverend, you begin to hum your best rendition of the song. And as you do, you feel, I imagine the way you feel when you are taken by the Holy Spirit or by a piece of scripture. You feel something sort of well up inside you. You feel like a presence here with you, as some would describe it. And you feel distressed. You feel pain. You feel anger. As if something bad has happened here. You feel like a strange mixture. Like you almost feel like the presence of a woman here, like a caring, motherly woman. And you think for a second, maybe it was just the wind, but there was no wind. The laughter of a child just sort of play on the wind that wasn't there. You feel as though something has been lost here. And there is a lot of pain and fury associated with that loss.
There is a lot of pain here. The forest has lost one of its own, it seems like. Whatever this was, this is a terrible loss for whoever cared for this forest.
Indeed.
the
Reverend
tree.
is going to see if he can sense the direction of where the presence is of this woman.
Ooh, okay. Roll me observation. And Johan, you were going to ask a question?
I was just going to ask, the trees that are cut down, obviously around the stump, look like freshly cut down. The stump, can you tell whether it's a freshly cut or whether it looks like it's been a stump for a long time? Like
it has, everything in this clearing has been cut down freshly, probably a few weeks ago. I'll get to you, Reverend. Selma, you look like you have something to...
Yeah, can I tell if this tree was marked to be cut by Frankie? Because I have a feeling it is not.
You succeeded on your investigation previously. You see that there are marks at the base of trees, and there is not a mark here.
Yeah, and she points it out. See the lack of mark. And she'll point the ones that do have the mark and no mark here.
Actually, you know what? Roll me learning. And I'll give you a bonus for that as well. Roll me learning.
From Hunter Nessie. No. I'll push it.
Okay.
Yeah. Learning with the one. 2 successes!
2
Finally, we got more than one.
You see that there are a number of trees. So you don't see a marking on this tree, but you do see there are a number of other trees that have a marking. And a marking, at first, it just sort of like, oh, okay, cool. This is a marking because this area was supposed to be cut. And then you look closer at this, and what you see is 3 slashes in a line in a circle. And you've seen that marking before. You know that Frankie was a suspicious man, and you as a hunter have spent many a time in the forest, and there are certain marks you may place on things, sort of like almost like hobo markings. Like these are places where, like, oh, you know, this is a rutting path for deer, right? Yeah. So other hunters may know. You've seen that symbol before. And when you saw it for the first time, you asked about it, and it's been such a long time since you've seen it before. It's a rare symbol. That symbol does not mean cut down these trees. Your best guess is that the loggers either didn't know what that symbol meant, or didn't care, or didn't understand, or maybe just thought it was Frankie's mark. Those symbols mean keep out, stay away, this place is wrong.
Shit.
Those are all fresh markings, probably within the last few weeks, likely from Frankie.
Yeah, bloody hell, look, and these are warnings. Frankie must have left them. They're common with trappers and people who frequent the forest and live off the land. Look at these around here. He was trying to warn them out of this place. And the sad
that was
fool.
no good then.
Yes, they must. He disappeared, and then they said this was when the bleeding started once they cut this tree down. So he wasn't here to remind them of the meaning of his message. And they buggered it all up. And they just... She looks sadly at this tree. They destroyed a guardian.
So, what do we do?
I don't know. Well, the Reverend was trying to sense a woman as well.
Reverend, you reach out for that feeling of this woman, and you are directed to this stump. You look down at the stump before you, and as I said, this is a great stump. And you can see that not bubbling like a blood out of a wound, but moving. This stump is oozing sap. Still, it is like dripping down the sides of this thing. It is still flowing out of the top of this thing. And as you look at this still bleeding tree, you notice that there are some things like embedded in the sap. The sap has sort of like dried over itself in some spots. And you see a piece of torn flannel that does not look old, does not look like the things that Selma had found. And you find several beads of a broken rosary Also not old like what Selma had found in the stones. These seem to be more recent. Possibly the kind held by a superstitious lumberjack. But you see these are like embedded in the tree. But you don't think that the presence of the woman exists anywhere but here. Like the presence is with you.
I think the guardian spirit is still here in the tree. And Reverend's going to point out the flannel and rosary beads and produce his own rosary beads. I'm no expert on restoring trees, so I do not know what to do to fix this.
Yeah, can we roll some like more learning?
That's what I was about to ask you.
Okay.
Everyone has studied. In fact, I will say, for the sake of a one shot, and for the sake of the roles you guys have had, all of you.
Wow, DMPD.
What? All of you have one advantage from your time preparing for this job. So you've all done something to prepare yourselves for this job. So what I'll do is before you can spend your advantage, which gives you +2 dice to the skill test. What I will say is before you can spend that, just tell me what you did to prepare for this. If anyone would like to roll learning to see what knowledge they have gained from the society to identify this creature, this Vaesen, please do so. And if you want to use your advantage here, you're welcome to do so. Just tell me what you did to prepare for this.
Perhaps a type of offerings to tree spirits.
That was your advantage. You offered,
or what she was studying.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, go ahead. Roll me learning with +2 bonus.
Okay, roll 20. I don't understand. Yeah, 2 successes.
Hell yeah. Does anyone else want to jump in on that?
I think since Carl is a foreigner, what he would try to get out is like, what is it that is local? What might they find around here? Because he needs to do that for like every party visits. Like,
yeah.
He knows about the old world, not the new one.
Yeah.
Good one.
Perfect. Go ahead and roll me learning with the +2.
All right.
I might have a special assignment for you.
Nope. Still, okay. I am not good at this.
Okay. Would you like to push?
I mean, yes. Yes, why not? It's a one shot.
You can push with the bonus.
2. Come on.
Let's go. Oh, nope. Man.
I love that. I love that.
Hopeless. Hopeless feels nice.
All right, here's what I'm going to do, because I think this is going to be funny. Iquin, as Carl, I'm going to put something that's going to flash on your screen. I would like you, mostly in Swedish, like you're having trouble translating it, and without Googling anything, you tell everyone else as much information as you can about what I'm going to put on your screen.
Oh.
You want to play a silly Swedish man? Here you go.
You know, there is this thing in Sweden. There is a creature that is very vacker, beautiful. They come and they call them skogsrå. which is it's a very thing. Oh, they're so beautiful, and you say very dangerous, yeah. Very beautiful, yeah. Very woman, yeah. I think maybe man, but very much woman, yeah. And you, they eat you, yes, like and
You okay there,
then
Carl? They eat you, but they're very beautiful.
Yeah, they. I see one back in the old world. Yeah.
Okay.
Selma,
Can you give me anything else? Yes.
you have 2 successes as well. Well, you have 2 successes,
Yeah.
and you have whatever Carl just gave you, which I went perfect. Absolutely perfect. You, together with what you found here, you think you know what this creature is. You've not heard the word that Carl used, but you've heard a similar word, and that word referenced to like Celtic, Gallic mythology, and all of it relates back to a tree spirit. The word you've heard in reference to Sweden specifically. I'm also going to make I couldn't pronounce because I'm not going to butcher this because I have a Swede on screen. So why not make them do it?
Now you're going to get cold feet.
So that Eichwin, that word, which is
Huldra.
Perfect. That was pretty close. So you've heard that word. You've heard that word in reference to a beautiful woman who only looks beautiful from the front and sort of has like a strangely like hollowed out log almost back if you were to see them turn around. But you've heard that in reference to a dryad in the Gallic mythos, and you know that as tree spirits. And here, the Algonquin tribes of the Northeast also believed in similar tree spirits. They called them green mothers. A lot of the overlap is a beautiful woman who lures people away and not necessarily eats them in the way that Carl was referring to, but consumes them, whether exactly as Carl had spoken, or whether consumes their body into their bark, makes them into trees. There's a lot of like back and forth on what it could possibly mean. But if they were appeased, if they were given offerings to, if they were revered in the way that a green mother should be revered, they would also have bountiful offerings of the springtime and of nature. You also recall there being a Algonquin legend that they didn't always lure men and occasionally women, but sometimes they would lure children and replace them in society, as in like a changeling.
Oh, shit. I knew Styx was up to something.
Styx is
His name is Styx!
His name isn't Styx. He has a whole name. That's what the kids call him. So I assure you, Styx is a regular 7-year-old boy. He's fine. Styx is not. He is just a kid. Jesus. And you recall that the way to banish this is to burn the heart out of the tree. But whatever has happened will still be happened. It will have happened. So there's no, if the kid was taken and is being turned into a changeling, you're done. He's gone. The way to appease the tree and like make an offering or to get back something is to make a true sacrifice. And by true sacrifice, it is a living soul.
Sheesh.
So if you want everything, returned the way it was, someone will have to willingly sacrifice themselves. If you want things to stop and not continue, and also kill this green mother of the forest, you burn the heartwood out of this stump.
Yeah, she's gonna relay all that. I don't know if I have it in me to repeat everything he just said. So it's to appease it, we have to make a sacrifice. To stop it and thus kill it, we have to burn the heart.
Yep.
What does it take to appease it?
We have to make a sacrifice. Life for life. If we want to, if the child is not already gone to be created a changeling, that is the only way to save him. A life for a life.
I have to say, I do not like the idea of sacrificing anyone.
Tis
No,
the old
sad
way.
as it, yes, as sad as it seems, at the end of the day, it's the child has died. The child has already died.
And Mike, can I determine how long it takes for these changelings to become?
Yeah, you know what? With 2 successes,
It's been several days already.
it has been 5 days.
5 days.
In your research, that kid should have been returned already as a changeling, if that were the case.
Okay, so
But there's no
perhaps
sign of the signs you have point towards like the kid appears to be safe.
like he didn't seem to anger. Why would the
Yes.
child anger the spirit? The mother said he talked to the trees, and the mother taught him a song. It would appear maybe.
And
I would
you
hope
also recall the Reverend saying that he felt a motherly presence.
You know, the skogsrå, they are so very, very beautiful. I once saw one back in the olden place, and I would be very happy to see one again. So happy. I could go. You would get the child back, yeah.
What are you
I get to
talking
see
about?
the very beautiful, beautiful skogsrå again.
She looks at Carl. What are you implying? You saying you're gonna step up as sacrifice?
So beautiful. So very beautiful.
Carl, go ahead and roll me observation.
Mm-hmm.
Sick. I'm gonna message you something privately, and then I'm gonna say something publicly.
Okay, so we need the child back at least.
Carl, as you're talking about the creature, this Vaesen, you sort of have this like almost far away look as you're recalling the beauty that you saw, and you kind of start to like sway just a little bit, just ever so slightly, and you begin to hear a melody. And at first, it doesn't register. And then the more you hear it, the more pleasant it sounds. This very like beautiful wind instrument meets humming. You realize that it's the same, but far better, far more beautiful version of the song that the Reverend hummed. And you kind of begin to sway to the beat of the rhythm of this lullaby almost. And perhaps you begin to hum it a little bit yourself.
You will notice Carl starts to hum it and sort of just get that 1,000-mile stare in his eyes. And he will start walking the direction of where the tunes are coming to, for like where he thinks the tunes are coming from.
I think Selma will follow
Carl,
cautiously.
you turn and begin to walk into the forest, and you see at the edge of the forest, maybe 2-3 trees back, one arm around a tree, the other arm beckoning you forward very seductively. You see a tall woman, completely nude, in the forest, hair cascading down over her shoulders, covering her chest, falling down the small of her back. She kind of leans, holding onto the tree almost playfully as she beckons you towards her, and you can tell she is the one humming.
Do you see how beautiful she is?
Do the rest of us see her?
None of you can see what Carl is talking about.
I think Johan will walk after Carl, and like as soon as he says, "Can you see?" like, and then he looks and there's nothing there. He's gonna. He said Carl was quite big. I mean, Johan is as well, but I think they're probably of a size. Just Carl's probably just a younger version of.
Yeah.
So Johan just puts like a gnarled hand on Carl's shoulder, and he's just like, "Lad, snap out of it."
But the beauty, she is so...
There's nothing there. And you'll kind of try and spin him round to face him and try and give him a shake.
Carl, do you allow Johan to spin you around?
No, I want to go to the very beautiful woman.
I'll take both of you. Roll me a force, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, both of you roll me a force.
Oh, how good was force?
Johan, you maybe it's the fact that Carl is the younger version, right? But you, with a great amount of force, you like that meaty paw is on his shoulder, and you try to spin him. And there's a second where his body sort of twists with yours, and then fully pulls back, free of your grasp. And Carl, in the second that you were like twisted away a little bit, when you turn back, you see stepping out from the same side, like she's leaning, holding onto a tree, stepping out from the same side that she's leaning on is a small child. Young boy, looks to be about 9 years old. He just stands there.
I can see it. There is the boy. She is beckoning to me. She's so beautiful.
Do
And
we
I
see the
can
boy now?
go there, and the boy, I think I can get the boy back if I go. And if I go, I can be with her, and she's so very beautiful, just like I remember.
I can't let him sacrifice himself. Johan's saying as he's looking desperately back at the other two for like help.
Yeah, yeah, like she
Has anybody got any fire?
no. She walks up to Carl and she'd be like, Carl, my man, look at me. Can you look at me for one moment?
He will not look away from the Skogsrå unless you try to force him.
Okay.
Johan, if you have a way to ignite it, the Reverend produces the fine wine. You can burn alcohol.
Do you wish to go to her? Is this what you really want? I want to know, like, is he under a spell?
Roll me observation.
No.
He is under the spell of love.
Fool of a took.
It's the way your eyes meet across a bar and you just know that's the look. You know?
It's the one.
Yeah.
I don't know, because like obviously I don't know what other stuff you can have on your inventory, because I've obviously just got my weapons on us, but I don't know like what else you would.
Yeah.
Flint and Tinder is a thing, is an item you can buy in this game, but I don't know that any of you would have Flint and Tinder on you, given that you got a carriage ride out here, you're staying at an established camp, so there's really no need for you guys to have to build your own fire, unless something terrible happened. But I don't think, unless you come with Flint and Tinder on you, I don't think anyone would have any.
Yeah, like I chose a hunting craft, not hunting supplies, so I don't think I'd have anything for being out in the wilderness.
This doesn't really help. This might help other people. I still have that hurricane lamp, and I need a way to light it. So,
I say we have lots of things that are flammable, but nothing to. I mean, it depends what pistols are made of. Okay, I have a pistol. Right? That's about. Now that will produce a spark, depending on what kind of. If it's a flintlock, it will produce a spark. Right.
I mean, either way, there's a way to get the gunpowder out of it, right? There's a way to get.
What's the year?
The 1800s. I would also say Selma has a rifle, so that's probably a black powder hunting rifle. So you have black powder.
And I did say that she was smoking, so she probably has matches.
There you go.
Yeah.
You did say that.
Yeah.
So your option is to save Carl, is to burn the heart out of this tree, or to save the kiddo, to let Carl be taken by his wooden love.
Oh man, I don't fucking know. What?
I think the decision which
I know what Johan will do. Johan is just he's just as soon as he realizes like that Carl's not gonna do it, he's gonna look at the tree. He's probably gonna pull his gun out first, and he's probably gonna point it at the stump, and then realize, well, no, that's not actually gonna do anything. So then he just turns to Selma and he's just like, matches.
Yeah, she'll toss him the matches.
And then he's gonna, unless somebody stops him, Johan's gonna stride to the tree and he's just gonna start emptying out the gunpowder he's got for his pistol onto the tree.
Okay. Selma, you hand over the matches. Johan, you begin pouring black powder onto the center of the tree stump. The first layer you dump begins to immediately be absorbed by the viscous sap that's coming out of this. So you just keep dumping more of your and probably Selma's as well of your black powder canister. Pouring this on here, and you light a match. Carl, you see the woman of your dreams. Her hand that was beckoning you reaches for you, and as it reaches for you, you see it twist and gnarl into bark, and you see her beautiful face drain of all of its beauty, and you just see fury as the hair cascading down her body hardens into this wild, untamed bramble, and you see her surge forward out of the trees. The ground begins to ripple behind her as roots punch out of the ground. As Johan, you fire off this matchstick and drop it, we see a white-hot gout of fire immediately start to singe and burn incredibly hot through this black powder. You watch as the sap bubbles and hardens as it is superheated by the black powder. And all of you hear this noise as it echoes through the forest. And Carl, you see this woman reaching for you with rage, her fingers like talons, as she steps forward and crumbles as if ash, and crumbles again the second step, and she falls at your feet as a long, vaguely humanoid-shaped pile of dust as the heartwood is burned from the stump. And Carl, as you were the only one to see him and the only one to see her, you watch the little boy from behind the tree turn and disappear into the forest. That is where we end this session of our Vaesen one-shot. You have vanquished a Vaesen. The job is done. The contract is fulfilled. Stop what was happening, and you did it. Not all endings are happy. That is it.
I feel terrible. Laura feels terrible. Johan's glad, but
that's how it is. It is a horror campaign. It is a horror game. Sometimes things go badly. You did the job. You know, not everyone can win. And our campaign, our campaign Mundus Novus, they stopped the Vaesen in the first campaign, but almost like a bunch of people in the town died. So like not everything's a win. Not everything is a win. So that is it for this episode of our Patreon one-shot. That is it for this session of Vaesen. Let's go around, do our introduction so we can get the hell out of here and do our after show and talk about this. If you guys want the after show, you want to get your hands on that and the after show for all of our other shows for the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, join us on the Patreon, link in the description down below. You can get access to that at the $5 tier. While you're down there, make sure you click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And with that, we'll jump to the man who almost had everything he wanted in life. Carl, Iquin, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Well, hello. I am very much Swedish in real life, just as in I am the game. You will find me in the unMadeGaming Discord. I run the unMadeGaming Mastodon, and sometimes I play off-stream games. So check out Looking for Group.
Hell yeah. Unlike Iquin, Swedish in-game but not in real life. Matt, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I'm Matt or D. You can find me here in the Patreon one-shots and the Patreon campaign.
Hell yeah.
Sign up for the Patreon.
Definitely
and
do.
You'll find me around the Discord as well.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. Yeah, our Patreon campaign has ended. We have a post-mortem coming up next weekend. And then we're going to start planning a new campaign. Let's jump right over to Laura Bones, our newest member at the one-shot tier. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what, pray tell, are you up to?
Hey, and Laura Bones. You can find me about places. Well, it used to be about places, but now everyone wants you to put your date of birth in, so now I'm on less and less social media as they keep asking me to put more information in.
Valid.
So now I'm just like Discord, Twitch.
Valid.
So you're hanging around the community. Come see us on the Discord. And lastly but not least, welcome back. You'll have
You don't have to wait for me.
We didn't. You actually came back with the perfect amount of time. G, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hi, I'm the friendly neighborhood lightning invoker.
Wow.
Sorry, the dog was having an emergency, so I had to run away. The friendly neighborhood lighting invoker. You'll find me for all things unMadeGaming, either modding for regular streams, playing in all the Patreon games. And tomorrow we should be playing Vaesen, their Patreon campaign. And then Atari Midnight on Thursday, you'll see me. And I think that's it for this month. And then restart everything
Next weekend,
again.
yeah, next weekend is next month,
Yeah.
but next week we're gonna play
next
in the
next Saturday, yeah, we have the Rise postmortem campaign ending session. So yeah, come stick around for that.
hell yeah. And with that, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks so much for watching the show. I hope you enjoyed it. And as I said, not all endings can be the happy ones. So that's it from us. We'll see you guys next time. So from all of us to you, bye-bye.
Bye.